House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the author of The Nancy Pelosi Way. Christine, thank you for being here tonight. I think first of all, I just want to get your reaction when you saw the Speaker rip up those pages very intentionally, 1, 2, 3 in front of the cameras. What was your reaction? Did you know she was going to do that?
No idea she was going to do that. I think Nancy Pelosi is a wonderful person. I know she prays daily, including for the president, including for the country, as we've talked before. And in watching that, her reaction to that speech, I thought to myself, that's an Italian grandma move. I saw my grandmother do that years ago in her kitchen when there was a guest who had been at my grandfather's house, very rude to him. She just simply picked up the person's plate without comment, went into the kitchen. We heard a little crashing sound. She threw the plate away, came back, sat down, didn't say another word. So to me, I thought, that's Italian grandma. Well, I thought it was an Italian grandma move. I think that's.
So she said it was the most courteous thing that. She said it was the most. Let me ask you, the most courteous thing I could do. She said, given my other exuberances. What did she mean? What were her other exuberances? What would have been worse than that?
Well, I think plenty of things would have been worse than that. I mean, for example, he could have put his outstretched hand towards her and she could have refused to shake it, which surprised me when I first watched the speech. I thought, well, wait, her hand's out there. Why isn't he shaking her hand? When you hear someone give a speech in front of you and say things that you know to be untrue, he says he's protecting people's care, and I know Kellyanne Conway just repeated that, but the fact of the matter is he's in court suing to overturn the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. He is in court trying to uphold rules that will change, that he just did, that will change the definition of a public charge, that will hurt immigrants like his own father.
Well, they have policy differences. There's no doubt about that. But
well, if you lie about what you're doing, that's not a policy difference.
But you know what? I have watched State of the Union addresses my whole life, as I know you have too. There are always presidents who stand up there and who talk about their policies. There are always people in the audience, including speakers of the House of the opposite party, who don't agree that they are saying what they see as the more effective policy. They have different views on the way to fix healthcare in this country. It doesn't mean that you rip up the speech. I mean, generally, my whole life, people have sat there respectfully and listened to each other. That's part of what happens at the State of the Union address. And frankly, I thought it was surprising. I mean, I was with a panel of people, Democrats, Republicans, and everybody, thought, wow, that was a surprising move. And that was one of the nicer words that was used for it.
Well, that was your panel. I was with hundreds of people last night who loved it and thought, thank God.
I'm sure that's true. I know that sentiment is out there as well. I'm just
saying, out there for sure.
So how about this comment?
To your point, though,
yeah.
You and I can disagree.
Right.
We're both speaking the truth. It's a different thing. If I say there's a lawsuit to overturn the law, and at the same time I say I'm defending the law, I am lying.
Yeah, but their argument is that the lawsuit to overturn the law is to allow a system that they think would be better to protect people and would provide better coverage in the end, because they think that law is not effective so far in doing so. So that, to me, is a policy difference. It's yes, we're trying to do this because we want to overturn that, and that's a policy difference. I don't see it as lies, but maybe we just have a different way of listening to both sides here. I just want to play this other soundbite here from the speaker about thinking that the president was sedated. Watch this.
It was also an act of kindness because he looked to me like he was a little sedated. He looked that way last year too. So, but he didn't want to shake hands. That meant nothing to me. It had nothing to do with my tearing up.
So, I'm just curious what your take is on that. When I heard that, I thought,
well, I think
she thought he was drugged or something?
I think Kuna actually thought he had a cold this morning. I didn't know what that remark, but maybe he had a cold last night too. I actually thought he sounded like he had a cold this morning. But in any event, I think there's two things. One is, I thought you were going to play the part where he said all the things that he said about Mitt Romney's faith, which I thought was bizarre, because I remember in 2012 Mitt Romney talking about his faith quite a lot at the Republican convention. So I don't think it was new, and I don't think it was a crutch.
Yeah.
Again,
I think a lot of people thought that a lot of that back and forth was over the line.
Well, again, I think there's a couple of things going on here.
On both sides.
First of all, the House of Representatives has the power. If they want to get something passed, they have to go through the House of Representatives. So sooner or later, he's going to have to go back there. That's how the trade deal got done after the House of Representatives made it better, working with labor. You want to get something done on health care. You want to get something done on the budget. He will eventually have to go back to the House of Representatives to make something
Absolutely
happen.
true.
So
let me ask you
wait to see what those dynamics are then. But it's important to note that when the budget comes out, the numbers don't lie, and so the numbers are going to have to. That's where the stark reality is going to be. That proof will be in the pudding. If they really want to do something on healthcare and infrastructure, let's look at the budget and see it's our statement of our values.
All Americans would like to see happen on both fronts. So I hope that's true. One last question for you. Let's put up this Gallup poll. During the course of impeachment, the president's approval rating went up 10 points. Does that, I mean, I think that would lead to some frustration on the part of those who pursued it for whatever reasons they pursued it. What do you think about that?
Well, a couple of things. I saw that Gallup poll. It's more heavily weighted now towards Republicans than it was before. So if you look at the breakdown of the numbers, they're different, and that could be where the numbers are. But the people who decided to go forward with the impeachment inquiry and with the impeachment were very, very clear. This isn't about the polls. This is about the truth. This is about finding the truth. And this is about making sure that we say Article 2 constrains the president. It doesn't mean he can say he can do whatever he wants. And so what we're talking about as we go forward, and listen, our voters, they want to hear about health care. They want to hear about health care. They want to be assured that the president is going to be
said in the beginning of this
following the
process
law.
that we shouldn't do impeachment because it will be too divisive. Now I have to believe she looks at these numbers and says, see, to her caucus, I told you this was going to be a mistake, and it is. His numbers have gone up during this process.
It's not a mistake to stand up for America. It's not a mistake to stand up for the truth. It's not, and again, you're looking at one poll. A Real Kill Politics average has him going up 1 point, not several. Again, you're looking at a weighted poll that has more Republicans in it now than it did 2 months ago.
Through a whole bunch of numbers that are positive over the course of this.
And Gallup, yeah, all in that same weighted poll.
Okay.
But the point is,
we'll see.
whether it is or it isn't, the most important poll is going to be on Election Day, November 3rd, and the question is going to be, are we going to move forward and have a president, of a different party who's going to bring us together and protect our health care, or are we going to have 4 more years of Donald Trump?
At this point, one thing that we do know is that the people will decide, and that will happen in 9 months. Christine Pelosi, thank you. We appreciate you coming in. Good to see you tonight.
Thanks, Mark.
So we'll be right back.